Okie dokie artichokes. Today we're going to talk about the actual founding of the city of Tenochtitlan, which became the Aztec capital and is today's Mexico City. We know that the Aztec people were semi-nomadic for a period of 200 years. They're wandering, looking for a sign from their god, moving every time their priests interpret that it's time to move. Well, eventually this is going to end, and here is the sign they were looking for, and we're going to find those aspects of worldview in it. They were looking for an eagle sitting on a nopal cactus eating a snake. What's interesting about the nopal cactus, again, if you've been to Mexico, central Mexico specifically, and you've eaten nopales, these are the petals of the cactus. They're tasty, a little slimy, but tasty. So I'll go ahead and give you this one. The nopal cactus has these red fruits that are about the size of a fist. Guess what else is red the size of a fist? Hint, it lives in your chest. So we have the nopal cactus, whose fruit represents the sacrificial hearts that our sun needs to fuel him for his journey through the sky every night. Remember, he has to fight his way through all of his murderous brothers and sisters to come up and bring us light and warmth every single day. So the least we can do is our part, right, in giving him the fuel he needs, which are the hearts of our sacrificed victims. So, hearts. Now what I want you to think and write on your board, remembering back to my last kind of mythology session, I do love a good story. The eagle. Remember him swooping down? What kind of solar deity is the eagle associated with? The sun. I'm going to assume that I'm seeing lots of answers of sun. And who is our god of the sun? Well, that's our guiding deity, Huitzilopochtli. Eating a snake. Okay, what could the snake represent? Let's think back to our myth with the Kulwa and the Valley of Snakes, and we turn that snake into some like, snake on a stick. This is showing our defeat of our enemies. So here the snake is representing defeated enemies. So this is the sign that our God is giving us. It shows all of those elements of our worldview. It shows our resiliency in defeating our enemies. It shows our lack of fear in the face of death. It shows our religious devotion to the point where we will sacrifice people for our God in our deep belief that he needs this to keep traveling through the sky. So when the priests see these three things in conjunction, and it is the right time and they have the right other signs from the gods, their leader Tenoch forms his city, Tenochtitlan. Now see what I mean about the Nahuatl language? Once you have a few basics down, we know we saw in Aztlan, we saw this. This is just place of. So we have the place of Tenoch, we have the place of the Aztec people, Aztlan, Tenochtitlan. So Tenochtitlan, this sign happened to be on an island in the middle of Lake Texcoco. Lake Texcoco is a saltwater lake because nothing is ever easy in the Aztec world. So of course it's a saltwater lake. The fresh water is coming in from the mountains, from the rain and the occasional snow runoff, and we have to find a way to get this via aqueducts, via irrigation systems. But for now, we've settled on this island in the center of Lake Texcoco, and we're here. We have our strength, our resiliency, and not much else. So what are we going to do? We're going to work for the people around us. So we're going to work for the larger and more established city-states around us. And we're going to learn from them. We're going to learn all the things that being settled, not nomadic, require. So what kind, write it on your whiteboard, what kind of skills do you need to know once you settle down? I said irrigation a couple times, so absolutely, we are going to learn how to irrigate. We're also going to learn how to grow crops in a saltwater lake, or in and around a saltwater lake. So agriculture. What else do we need to learn? Well, all of that city administration stuff. How do you collect taxes? How do you decide housing? How do you lay out your city? What are the different areas? How do we collect garbage? How do we work our compost system? The Aztec had daily garbage collection and compost. I'm not making that up. All right, so we're gonna kind of call these like administration. These are all the things that 311 handles, right? Administration. You're gonna learn architecture, because the architecture of a semi-nomadic group is not the same at all as the architecture of a settled group. So we are learning these things. Architecture, we're growing in our population because life has become a bit easier now that we are stable, and we are growing in our power as we absorb the knowledge that comes from others. So what types of jobs might we be doing for these other groups with our physical strength and our militarism? Well, we're working as mercenaries. And I'll tell you what, mercenaries, this gives us an excellent insight into who our enemies are going to be later, because we're fighting for the larger city-states around us, and we're gathering knowledge about the area. Who lives where, what resources do they have? We're just soaking it all in, and we're strengthening our civilization every time. And we are working as laborers. But again, as we labor, as we are doing all of that hard work, the heavy lifting, the ditch digging, the paving, the construction, we're absorbing the knowledge that comes with it. And we, based on our resiliency, are growing and growing and growing until we have two cities now on this island. We have our Tenochtitlan, and we also have our temple complex here at Tlatelolco. So Tlatelolco is still a major marketplace in the city, Mexico City today. So Tlatelolco was the largest trade center and had a separate temple complex as well. Eventually we got so big that these two cities merged together because we are really rocking it. We're Aztec, right? We got the strength, we got the resiliency, we've got our God on our side. What could go wrong? At this point, nothing. So we've actually formed an alliance now. We've gone from being laborers to being full-on partners in the Triple Alliance. So this Triple Alliance now allows our city-states to conquer a large area surrounding this Lake Texcoco. So now we have excess farmland, we have groups who are living there who are sending us tribute. So again, tribute really is another way to say taxation, except because we're Aztec, we are taking this in the form of crops, raw materials, luxury items, slaves, and captives for sacrifice. So our Triple Alliance eventually becomes overshadowed by us. So we, here in Tenochtitlan, become the center of the Triple Alliance. We go from being mercenaries and laborers without any of the skills taken to run the administration of a city to being the center nation of the Triple Alliance, far larger and more powerful than the other two within a span of 100 years. Like, we have really rocked this out. And now that's gonna kind of give our worldview a little bit of arrogance, but it's also going to strengthen our beliefs in our own value system, because it seems like our value system is working for us pretty darn well right now. So our value system says, remind me again, looking for your lips moving, religious devotion, militarism, and physical strength, plus resiliency. So using those qualities has grown us into the premier city-state of the area. This is going to make these values be taught more by society, be believed in even more deeply, and be reflected even more in our mythology of our gods and goddesses. All right, so you're a teacher, me, but also if you're not in my class, your teacher will have some specific questions and activities for you in Google Meets. Thanks for coming.